And an important question: could you fall victim to a sophisticated bank scam that begins with a simple text message? The government says scams of all kinds are soaring. Americans reported losing nearly $8.8 billion to fraud last year. That's up 30% from the year before.
Imagine checking your bank balance tomorrow and finding it zeroed out. Not because of a hack, not because someone stole your card, but because you were convinced to hand over access yourself. In 2025, the FBI logged over 5,100 bank impersonation cases, draining $262 million from American accounts. And if you're over 50, you're the #1 target. This scam doesn't rely on technical exploits. It exploits trust, urgency, and the way your brain works under pressure. Even financial professionals are falling for it, and it can empty your checking, savings, and credit cards in under 10 minutes. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how bank impersonation fraud works and the simple steps to protect every dollar you have. Watch until the end. I'll show you the exact defense strategy that stops this scam cold. Let's get into it. The call that satisfies everything. It starts with a phone call that feels completely legitimate. Your caller ID shows your actual bank's name: Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, your local credit union. The number matches the customer service line on the back of your debit card. The caller identifies themselves as a fraud prevention specialist. They have your full name. They reference your recent transactions: the grocery store yesterday, the gas station this morning. They mention the last 4 digits of your account number. Then comes the hook. We've detected suspicious activity on your account. Someone attempted to make a large purchase in another state, and we blocked it. We need to verify this wasn't you and secure your account immediately. Your heart rate spikes. Someone tried to access your money? Thank God the bank caught it. That gratitude, that trust, that desire to fix the problem, those emotions just made you the perfect victim. A 58-year-old accountant from Denver named Richard Morales received exactly this call while reviewing client files. The caller said someone tried to withdraw $3,200 from an ATM in Florida. Richard had never been to Florida. The caller knew he lived in Colorado, knew his morning coffee purchase, knew his balance to the dollar. When the caller said he needed to verify Richard's identity and secure the account, Richard didn't hesitate. Why would he? The man clearly worked for his bank. Within 12 minutes, Richard lost $18,400 from his checking and savings combined. He didn't realize what happened until his card was declined at lunch. Here's what Richard didn't know: that caller didn't work for his bank. The caller ID was spoofed, VoIP technology that costs almost nothing. The personal information came from data breaches and social media. And every security procedure the caller walked him through was actually a step-by-step guide to draining his own accounts. The scam didn't satisfy Richard's money first, it satisfies his certainty. And by the time certainty returned, everything was gone. How they get inside your accounts. The scam operates in carefully designed phases. Phase 1, preparation. They research before the first contact. Scammers don't fire blind shots. They prepare. They collect your name, phone number, email, and bank name from data breaches, social media, or old phishing lists. They build scripts that mirror exactly how real bank representatives speak. They create fake websites identical to your bank's login portal. They set up VoIP phone systems that spoof any caller ID they want. This groundwork is why even smart, tech-savvy people get fooled. The information they use often matches real banking details perfectly. They spread the illusion of credibility before they ever speak to you. Phase 2, the first strike, the alert you can't ignore. The scam usually begins with a message designed to trigger fear. A text claiming unauthorized transaction detected. Call immediately. An email warning your account will be frozen within 24 hours. A phone call from your bank's security team about suspicious activity. The trick is urgency. The message isn't generic spam. It's crafted to make your nervous system override your logic. If there's even a tiny fear that your account might be compromised, you're already halfway to compliance. Fear doesn't ask questions. Fear acts. Phase 3, the conversational trap, where trust becomes weapon. Here's where the con gets surgical. A live caller, trained, confident, picks up and speaks in perfect bank jargon. This is the fraud suppression team. We detected suspicious activity originating from an unrecognized device. I need to verify the security code we just sent to confirm your identity. They push you to read back an OTP, one-time password they just triggered. Approve a login prompt on your phone. Download a security verification tool. Move money to a protected holding account. Every step feels like help. Every action feels like protection, but each one hands them exactly what they need. This isn't random cold calling. The goal is converting fear into compliance. making you behave exactly how they want while believing you're saving yourself. Phase 4, the drain. Speed is their weapon. Once they have your credentials and MFA codes, they move with terrifying speed, often working in teams. One person keeps you on the phone, reassuring you everything is being secured. Meanwhile, others are already inside your accounts. They log into your real bank account through the official website. They change your password and recovery email so you can't get back in. They transfer from savings to checking, then drain both. They identify connected credit cards and max them out. They initiate wire transfers to accounts they control, often overseas or converted to cryptocurrency within minutes. A 45-year-old marketing director from Atlanta named Karen Sullivan was on the phone for 34 minutes. The caller walked her through securing her checking, savings, and 3 credit cards. Karen approved multiple verification codes, confirmed security transfers, and downloaded what she thought was her bank's fraud protection app. By the time the call ended, $31,200 was gone from her accounts, and her credit cards had $14,800 in fraudulent charges. Her bank's response? Karen herself had provided the authentication codes. She had approved the transfers. She had downloaded the software. From the bank system, every action looked voluntary. She spent 11 months fighting. She recovered about 55%. The rest, over $20,000, was classified as authorized and gone permanently. Hey, if you're realizing how sophisticated this threat is, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. These tactics evolve every week, and staying informed could save you everything. Why smart people fall for it? The psychology they weaponize. You might think, I'd never fall for that, but this scam doesn't target stupidity. It weaponizes how your brain actually works under pressure. Authority bias, trusting the bank voice. When someone sounds like your bank, same number, familiar language, professional tone, your brain processes that as trust before you can think critically. Studies show people are twice as likely to comply with requests from perceived authority figures, even when the actions contradict their better judgment. At that moment, your brain isn't computing, is this legitimate? It's computing, is this urgent and authoritative? Scammers engineer both. Fear trigger. Time's running out. Scammers don't wait for calm. They manufacture panic. Your account will be frozen in 10 minutes. Unauthorized transfers are happening right now. If you hang up, we can't stop the fraud. Fear of loss activates the same neural pathways that suppress analytical thinking. You act first, think later. That's not a character flaw, it's human biology. And scammers exploit it precisely. Familiarity effect. I've seen this before. The message looks like legitimate alerts you've received from your bank. The language matches. The urgency matches. Your brain blurs it with real communications you've trusted before. Familiarity increases perceived authenticity, even when the information is completely fabricated. Confirmation bias. Everything fits. Once you believe the caller is legitimate, everything they say reinforces that belief. They know your transactions? Of course. They're from the bank. They're asking for verification codes? That's standard security protocol. They want you to approve a transfer? They're protecting your money. Every piece of evidence gets filtered through the assumption that this is real. By the time doubt creeps in, the money is already gone. A 52-year-old financial analyst from Chicago, someone who trains her staff on fraud prevention, fell for this. She told investigators, I know about scams. I teach this stuff, but they had information only my bank should have. Every step sounded exactly like real security protocols. It never occurred to me the entire thing was fake. She lost $27,300. It took 7 months to recover $19,000. The remaining $8,300 was deemed unrecoverable because she had voluntarily provided authentication codes. If a financial analyst who trains others on fraud can fall for this, anyone can. Have you ever received a call that felt off but you weren't sure? Share your experience in the comments. Your warning could help someone else. The variations that keep evolving. As awareness spreads, criminals adapt. The playbook keeps changing. The account update variation. Instead of claiming fraud, they say the bank is updating security protocols or migrating systems. They need you to verify your identity with a code. That code is actually a password reset they triggered. Once you read it back, they own your account. The stop the fraud variation. They say a fraudulent transaction is processing right now. $2,500 to an electronics store, $1,800 wire transfer to an unknown account. They ask you to log in and cancel it, then read them a confirmation confirmation code to verify the cancellation worked. That code actually approves transactions they're initiating in real time. The remote security check variation. They convince you to download TeamViewer or AnyDesk for a security diagnostic. Once installed, they have complete access to your screen. Some victims watch helplessly as their cursor moves on its own, navigating banking apps, initiating transfers, changing passwords, while being told it's normal system behavior during the scan. The recovery scam variation. This targets people who've already been victimized. Scammers call claiming to be from the bank's fraud recovery department or a government agency that retrieves stolen funds. They ask for fees up front or attempt to steal even more through the same techniques. They specifically target previous victims because that information is valuable in criminal networks. They know you're vulnerable and desperate. A retired couple in their late 60s from Phoenix named Donald and Patricia Warren experienced the remote access variation. The caller said hackers had compromised their account and they needed an urgent security diagnostic. They downloaded AnyDesk as instructed. For 42 minutes, the scammer had complete computer access while reassuring them everything was being secured. They lost $87,400, checking $12,300, savings $28,600, and a retirement account $46,500. After hiring a lawyer and fighting for 9 months, they recovered approximately $58,000. They lost nearly $30,000 permanently, plus $4,200 in legal fees. Donald told investigators the worst part wasn't the money, it was watching their retirement disappear while believing they were being protected. The financial loss was $87,400. The total damage was immeasurable. Why banks say you authorized it, and why that changes everything. This is the moment most victims realize the scam didn't end when the money left. It began when the bank refused to return it. When you provide verification codes, approve transfers, or grant remote access, banks classify these as authorized transactions. From their perspective, you authenticated the activity. You approved the transfers, you gave consent. The fact that you were deceived doesn't change what their systems recorded. Here's what banks won't tell you. The legal distinction between authorized and unauthorized fraud determines everything. Unauthorized fraud, someone accessing your account without any involvement from you, typically requires reimbursement under federal banking regulations. Authorized fraud, where you approved the transaction even under manipulation, often doesn't. You consented. The system logged your approval. Case closed. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau reported a sharp rise in authorized push payment fraud complaints in 2024. Consumers are increasingly shocked to learn that being tricked does not guarantee reimbursement. The scam doesn't just steal your money, it weaponizes your own actions against you. Fighting denials requires phone records, screenshots, police reports, and documented timelines. Even with everything, recovery isn't guaranteed. The process takes months, sometimes over a year, and during that time, bills go unpaid, overdraft fees accumulate, credit scores drop, and the psychological toll of fighting your own bank compounds the original violation. A 51-year-old small business owner from Tampa named Michael Torres lost $43,000, money earmarked for payroll. His bank denied his claim, stating he had voluntarily provided access credentials and approved outbound transfers. Michael provided documentation proving caller ID was spoofed from an unknown source, confirmation from his bank's actual fraud department that they never called him, phone records showing the call duration and origin, a police report filed within 3 hours of the incident, still denied. The bank's position: the customer authorized the transactions by providing verification codes and approving transfer requests. Authorization, once given, cannot be retroactively withdrawn based on claim deception. Michael couldn't make payroll. He laid off 4 employees. His business credit was damaged. Vendors stopped extending terms. He eventually recovered $28,000 after 14 months with a lawyer, but his company never recovered. He lost contracts, his reputation suffered, and he eventually closed the business he'd built over 12 years. The financial loss was $43,000. The total damage was immeasurable. How to protect yourself. Rule 1. Enforce a callback rule. No exceptions. Any inbound call claiming to be from your bank gets disconnected. You call back using the number on your physical debit card or the official banking app. Never use a number the caller provides. Spoofed calls collapse the moment you hang up and dial independently. This single rule defeats the entire scam. Rule 2. Never share verification codes, ever. Your bank will never call and ask you to read back a code. Those codes are for you to enter into official websites or apps, never to share verbally with anyone for any reason. If someone asks for a code to verify your identity, that's the scam revealing itself. Rule 3. Never download software at someone's request. Your bank will never ask you to install remote access software during a fraud call. TeamViewer, AnyDesk, or any security app requested during a call is not from your bank. End the conversation immediately. Rule 4. Never move money to safe accounts. Banks don't transfer your funds to holding accounts for security. Any request to move money via wire transfer, Zelle, gift cards, or cryptocurrency is fraud, regardless of how urgent or official it sounds. Rule 5. Reject urgency as a red flag. Real bank security processes take days or weeks, not minutes. You have 10 minutes before your account is frozen is manipulation, not policy. Scammers need you to act before you think. Legitimate institutions give you time. Rule 6. Replace SMS codes with app-based authentication. SMS one-time codes are vulnerable to social engineering. Switch to authenticator apps, Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, or hardware security keys like YubiKey. These generate codes locally that can't be intercepted or socially engineered. Rule 7. Set transfer limits and require verification. Contact your bank to cap daily wire and ACH limits. Request that large transfers require in-branch verification or callback confirmation. Add a no wire without verbal callback note to your account. These friction points force human review, the enemy of fast fraud. Rule 8. Enable real-time alerts for everything. Set your banking app to notify you instantly for every transaction, login attempt, and password change. No minimum threshold. A $5 alert isn't annoying. It's your early warning system. Rule 9. Separate accounts by risk. Keep savings in a separate account with no wire transfer capability. Maintain lower checking balances. Don't link investment accounts to everyday banking. This limits maximum damage even if one account is compromised. Rule 10. Educate your family today. Make sure your spouse, elderly parents, and adult children know about this scam. Scammers specifically target older adults. One conversation explaining these tactics could save someone you love from losing everything. This scam is spreading because it works. High success rates, significant payouts, almost zero prosecution risk. The average victim loses between $8,000 and $35,000. If you're over 50, scammers see you as the ideal target. They're counting on you not knowing how this works. Now you know. Have you received one of these calls, or do you know someone who fell victim? Drop your story in the comments. Your experience could help others recognize the warning signs before it's too late. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss the warning that could protect your entire family. Stay safe out there, and if your bank calls, hang up and call them back.